Hi, my name is Nick Peterson. I'm a counselor at Fossil Ridge High School for all freshman students with last names A through K and select students with IEPs.
Hi, my name is Nicole Alvarado, and I'm also a counselor here at Fossil Ridge High School for freshmen with last names L through Z and also select IEP students. Today, we're going to talk to you and give you a brief overview of Fossil Ridge High School and the registration process. So, let's get started. As you can see from our weekly bell schedule, we operate on a block system. That means that Tuesdays and Thursdays you will have an odd schedule, and Wednesdays and Fridays you will have an even schedule. Also, Monday, you'll notice that you have all 7 classes for the day. Another thing to take a look at is that on Wednesday we have a late start. Our first class will begin at 9:11 in the morning. This allows students who want to have an extra hour or so to sleep in to do so, or if they want to get some extra work done to come on into the school. Also, take a look at our lunch schedule where you'll see that freshmen have a lunch. This allows all freshmen to eat at the same time in the lunchroom commons and have a separate lunchtime from upperclassmen. Also on Friday, you'll notice that we have an advisory class. That is included as our 8th period of the day. That advisory class is from 9:11 to 10:52. And we'll give you a more brief overview about advisory later. Another thing that you'll notice from this picture is that our freshman locker bay is located in the north wing. It contains all freshman lockers, and yes, each individual student in their freshman year will get their own locker. What's great about this system is that in that north wing office area, myself and Mr. Peterson, both counselors, are available, as are 2 secretaries and an administrator. Another thing to note is that most freshman classes are around this area. So common courses like in English and math, those courses will be located around the freshman locker bay.
As Miss Alvarado mentioned, we have an advisory class that meets every Friday. This is one of the cornerstones of Fossil Ridge. It's a great place for students to build relationships with their peers and with teachers. It meets every week with the same teacher and student group for all 4 years of a student's career. In ninth grade, advisory focuses on preparing students for high school. So there's a lot of study skills and getting ready for finals and academic support built right in. In 10th through 12th grades, the focus in advisory is on post-secondary readiness. So that's college and career skills. We'll talk more on that in a minute. Advisory is also our time for school assemblies and activities like Club Rush, class registration, guest speakers, and state champion assemblies, and all sorts of other things. We rarely, if ever, interrupt regular academic classes for any of these things, so our schedule is super stable and you can count on class time being class time. What we have here is just an outline of, as counselors, what we put into advisory. There's 2 acronyms you see at the top of the screen, ICAP and NACAC. ICAP stands for Individual Career and Academic Plan. NACAC stands for National Association for College Admissions Counseling. And both of these things are things that guide our curriculum. ICAP is actually a state law. And one of the cornerstones of ICAP is that students have a multi-year plan that connects their freshman year of high school all the way through their first year of college or career. And basically, like we were saying, freshman year is all about just making beginning plans, starting to lay out a draft of a multi-year plan, and learning success skills for school. But then we start to infuse information about college selections, what courses to start taking to prepare for career pathways and things like that. So this graphic here is just to show you how our curriculum is laid out and that we have these lessons built in, spread out over the course of 4 years. Now we're going to go on to school culture. Rachel's Challenge is one of the cornerstones of school culture at Fossil Ridge. We do a lot of effort to bring the Rachel's Challenge program in all 4 years. As you can see, 9th graders get a Rachel's Challenge assembly. And they're issued 5 challenges. And I should back up and explain where these originated from. Rachel Scott was actually a student at Columbine High School who was killed in the tragedy in 1999. It turns out that she left an amazing diary which had some extremely insightful thoughts and contained these 5 challenges. So Rachel's Challenge is a nationwide, worldwide organization that does the school-wide anti-bullying program. The cornerstone of that is the Rachel's Challenge Assembly, which I said we start with in ninth grade. There, students are presented those 5 challenges from Rachel Scott. Look for the best in others. Dream big. Choose positive influences. Speak with kindness. Start your own chain reaction. In 10th grade, they get chain reaction days. What that is a high energy, interactive, collaborative event that students engage in with their advisory classes and 10th grade peers. It's just an amazing, fun day where students get the chance to start their own chain reaction, and it just plants the seed and gets them thinking about leaving their legacy and starting a positive chain reaction at Fossil. 11th grade, they get Rachel's Legacy. That's an assembly, and they get 5 new challenges that you see below that are centered around leaving a legacy. In 12th grade, they actually do that. It's a senior service project that they do as an advisory class. So if you can imagine, by the end of these 4 years, their relationships and working relationships they have so far are phenomenal, and this is just a natural outpouring of that. Senior service is something we've always done at the Ridge, but now we've really tied that in with the lessons of Rachel's Challenge. Next up is PBIS. It stands for Positive Behavior Intervention and Support. As you can see here, we have RIDGE spelled out as an acronym which outlines our behavior expectations. You have respect, integrity, determination, gratitude, and excellence. And I should back up on this too. PBIS is a research-based program that was started by Dr. George Sugai from the University of Oregon. It's been implemented in schools nationwide and worldwide. Research shows that it has phenomenal results in terms of lowering rates of discipline and student problems in a school. Now, we have a great school culture already, but we thought as a staff and in our planning for this that we could go up to the next level by defining positive expectations versus typical old school discipline codes that have what students can get in trouble for. We define our expectations at the Ridge for what we want students to do, above and beyond. So as you can see here, we've gone into super detail. You can see Ridge laid out on the left. And then you can see the columns of different places where we expect the behaviors. And then the bullet points outline what, for example, integrity looks like in the common areas. And as a staff, we model these and we also teach these expectations of our students. We can go more in depth in this later. But as you can see, here's an example of school activities and events and how the Ridge applies to all those areas. You can see determination under school activities and events. That means attending school activities, cheering for our SaberCats, and getting involved. Again, we teach these to our students to really promote a positive culture, and it works.
Now let's talk about academics. Our mission statement at Fossil Ridge High School is becoming lifelong learners who strive for excellence. At our core, we have a high focus on academics and learning. One of the first parts to take note about is that how we differ from middle school is we operate on a semester-long system. Grades are transcribed on a student's transcript at the end of each semester. You will be able to see in-progress grades and quarterly grades that teachers upload, but please note that only grades that are permanent will be the Semester 1 and Semester 2 final grades. The first semester will begin from the beginning of the school year, usually in August, to the holiday break in December. The second semester will begin January to the end of the year. To prepare students for the transition from middle school to high school, I want to touch on a big part of what it means to be a freshman. What we have learned as counselors and from our experience is that managing the workload is key for new freshmen to be mindful of. This means that we have a different grading scale than they may be used to at the middle school level. We operate on a percentage from A as 90 to 100, B 80 to 89, C 70 to 79, D 60 to 69, and F is anything below a 60%. Also, our expectations are higher. One of the reasons that we have higher expectations at this level is because students are transitioning to being young adults. So no longer are they really not being held accountable. We want to make sure that we're treating them as young adults, holding them accountable and responsible for the work that they are doing. Most teachers don't accept late work here at Fossil Ridge High School unless there are extenuating circumstances, and also they don't allow redos on tests.
Okay, more on managing the workload. So in terms of expectations for what the first part of ninth grade will be like, you will notice a change at home during first quarter. Expect double to triple of what is currently being done in 8th grade for homework that first quarter. And just know that that's okay. Students adjust and get used to the flow and the workload and honestly the pacing of our weekly schedule. And by about week 8 to 10, which is about the end of first quarter, we find that students really start to get more efficient, and that double to triple amount of homework hours starts to subside into a more natural routine. It's also important to know that starting day one of high school, that's the beginning of a student's permanent record. As Ms. Alvarado touched on at the beginning, grade point average cumulatively starts in 9th grade, and grades are transcribed at the end of every semester. We really encourage students to get to know their teachers and counselors and realize that homework is part of the grade. So we really want to foster those relationships up through the semester. I want to hit on a hot topic here at Fossil Ridge, and that is pre-AP. Middle schools are trending more and more towards using the pre-AP label, and that's great. However, we want to make sure that we're crystal clear about what pre-AP means here at Fossil Ridge. Okay? Pre-AP means 3 to 6 hours of homework per week per class. It also means that students should be in it if they have a TCAP score of proficient or higher and are passionate about the subject. In 9th grade, we have pre-AP Biology, pre-AP English, and pre-AP World History. I've been speaking with teachers, and one of the things they tell me also is that it's not just about turning in a worksheet or an assignment, and because you've done it, you get an A. It's really about the depth and the rigor and the sophistication of the thought process that goes into that. Now, standard level, also rigorous. High school is rigorous overall. So 2 to 4 hours of homework per week per class at the standard level is also about the norm, and that follows district curriculum standards. A common question we get about standard level is if a student chooses, for example, standard English freshman year, can they jump onto the pre-AP and AP track later? Our answer is you bet. It's certainly possible. There's sufficient rigor in the standard level. So really consider those things. We'll be releasing our information on the curriculum of these classes coming up in January. Now, know this, and we put it in red. Honors or pre-AP in middle school does not necessarily mean pre-AP in high school, so really consider it on a class-by-class basis. Now, let's get to the academic supports that we offer here at the Ridge. First thing, we offer tutoring in all subjects during our late start time on Wednesday mornings. Remember, school starts at 9:11 on Wednesday mornings under the current bell schedule. I should also note that the tutoring is provided by master's level students from Colorado State University who are studying themselves to be teachers, and it's available in all subjects. Additional tutoring is available during lunches and after school to be arranged by teachers and AP students in the building. We have academic support teams, and what that is Ms. Alvarado and myself are part of that for 9th grade, as well as an administrator and a teacher and our RTI coordinator. What we do is we filter out students who are struggling academically, and we make sure we make contact with every single one of them, and basically we problem solve our way through it, and we provide supports as needed. We also offer study skills groups for students that may need that. Ms. Alvarado and myself teach that. And then in advisory class, grade checks are a weekly part of it. Honestly, about the 100-minute period of advisory, about 60 minutes of that is curriculum, and then there's usually time at the end for academic time and grade checks. Like I said, academic time in advisory is another thing. And then to get 9th graders ready for their final exams, we have a snack and study. So what that is we use the north wing of our school, and many of our teachers stay after school and provide final exam reviews, and that happens the day before their first semester finals in December. Snacks are provided, and it's usually a pretty fun atmosphere with different structured and fun types of reviews going on.
Parents, you may be wondering how to best support your freshman student as they enter their high school career. What we would really encourage is that you let your student communicate with their teachers often, either in person and via email. Teachers really love to see students who are self-advocates for themselves and who are able to ask for the help that they need. Also, have your student show you how to access Blackboard and Pinnacle Internet Viewer. What Blackboard is, it's a way that teachers post curriculum, reading materials, and additional materials that may be necessary for assignments. It's an online program and students will have access to this. Pinnacle Internet Viewer is a way for you to view students' grades as well as have students show you upcoming assignments, potentially missing assignments, and grades that they have recently gotten on tests. Also, feel free to contact us via email or by phone. We are here to help you and help your students succeed. Another way to talk with us here at Fossil Ridge High School is to communicate with the staff members who are critical to your students' learning. The best first stop for information is our website. Under the About Us section, you'll find our staff directory, which includes contact information such as phone numbers and emails for all our teachers. Also, when you call or email, the professional
standard for our staff is to respond within 48 hours or less. You can tell we're having so much fun in here, aren't we? We strongly encourage students to advocate for themselves and communicate with teachers and counselors. Remember, PIV and Blackboard are such great resources. PIV is to see what's been done, to see current grades. Blackboard is all about seeing what's coming up. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our STEM Academy. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. You may have heard of it. As you can see here on the left, you can see our STEM strands document. We have clean energy, computer tech, engineering, and biotechnology as our pathways to get to a STEM certified diploma. Now, it's important to note that this curriculum is above and beyond the graduation requirements, and it's been developed with local employers in each of these sectors to prepare our students to be employable in these sectors, whether they choose to go straight into work or to go into college majors into this. It's really all about 21st century skills and preparing our students for the jobs of tomorrow. These STEM strands are great to look at. Applications are required to get into the STEM program, which begins in 9th grade. So check out our website under Academics, Academies, and STEM. More about Fossil Ridge. Encourage your son or daughter to get involved. Clubs meet during lunch mostly. We have outstanding arts, music, sports, clubs, businesses, and other opportunities. And just know, our staff really cares about students. Relationships are a major pillar of our school, and we just cannot say enough about the positive outcomes when students get involved and we have that synergy between staff and students, both in clubs and the classroom. Nicole's back with more information on registration.
As we move into registration, we want to make you aware that we will be visiting your students' middle school early next year. We will be coming twice, first for distribution and the second time for collection. And when we go into the middle schools and distribute information, we will be giving students a brief presentation on registration, as well as giving them instructions and materials that's pertinent for them to fill out their registration. We will then allow a 2-week window for students to complete their registration cards. Next, we will collect their information and input that into our system. Please take a look at the slide and mark the dates that we will be at your student's middle school. This information will also be on our website. If you have an IEP, Fossil Ridge High School case managers will arrange transition meetings with your middle school case managers during our registration window. Case managers will be contacting you about when they will be at your middle school. Based on feedback that we have had from our registration cards in the past, we have updated this to make sure that it's clear, concise, and efficient for all students to fill out. If you have any questions, please make sure that you read the important reminders that are necessary for students to know. Also, you're free to contact us should you have any additional questions.
Okay, if you're still watching this video, you probably know that we're about to the end and there's still many questions you may have. One of the best places to get these questions answered will be at our curriculum fair coming up on January 23rd, 2013. That's a Wednesday, 5:30 to 8 p.m. It's in our commons here at Fossil Ridge, which is right inside the main entrance. Now, this is what you can expect. You can get specialized information from each of our departments, including specifics on course offerings. Also information on gifted and talented and STEM. We highly encourage incoming Fossil people to come to our curriculum fair. This is the chance to get to the nitty-gritty on information about what we offer. This is in advance of our 8th grade registration, so it's really a chance to preload and front load with some important information. So please attend that. Well, that's all Miss Alvarado and I have. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as we've enjoyed making it. Sorry for the giggles, and feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.